Hi there, Chris here, another quick tip for you all. In this video we are going to take a look at Rotigus, the new Great Unclean One model. Well, he's part of the Great Unclean One model, he's a new character and you can use him Age of Sigmar 40k. He's a great big bloated fella, and you can see here we have him already assembled, all ready to go. He has been completely assembled. He's been given a primer of a Vallejo light gray primer using a Patriot 105 at around 30 psi to apply, and then I've just affixed him to a handle, one of my steady hand grips. Going to use Bugman's Glow as the base tone for this. I'm going to use a Patriot 105 spraying at around 30 psi, I do believe. And I'm just going to begin laying this on top of almost pretty much everything other than really the tentacles and the back cloth and his little hood. And also his little wood staff thing that's going on, his little crooked staff. I don't know, whatever the heck that is. Now, the added benefit of leaving him off of his base is that I can get into all the undersides and such underneath his feet and, all those areas. Next is Raw Umber Hue. This is a transparent color from Golden paint line. This is designed for airbrush, and so I'm switched over to a Renegade Chrome from Badger, and basically I'm going to very deliberately apply this in. Now, it's taken the PSI down to about 20 PSI, I do believe, and I'm just concentrating into the folds of the body here and on the undersides, under the belly, under the legs, in between the joints, pretty much anywhere where I want deep kind of shadowy recesses here, and I'm slowly building the color up into those areas. You can see it gets quite dark, but that's just because of the raw umber hue is quite dark, and you can see if it is laid in a little too heavily, it actually has a bit of a sheen to it. So, but we're not too worried about that at this point. Arhonian Camoshade is next. Now, basically what I'm going to do here is I'm going to throw a couple dollops onto my palette. I am going to add 2 or 3 drops of Liquitex Flow Aid and just a little bit of water and thin the color out because I do not want this tinting too much of the flesh areas. I want to throw a little bit of that sickly green color into the flesh, but I also want it to fall within some of the little folds and recesses that we didn't do with the initial raw umber hue value that we went through with. This is just for like this boils and sores and just all those little details, nooks and crannies, all the typical things we get when we shade wash a model. And of course, because I have it thinned out, it's going to go a little bit further than it normally would, but it also is not quite a saturated feeling. And as you can see here, how the flesh really kind of takes on a really kind of a sickly kind of appearance now. Pink Flesh is next. This is from scale 75. I'm going to stick with my Renegade Chrome, staying at around 20 psi as I do so. I have the color thinned out quite a bit, almost 1-to-1 really. And I'm just slowly building the color up, as you can see here, and I'm just building up the high points, laying it in through mainly, I was going to say mostly the muscle groups, but this guy's kind of got no muscle. He's got a big flabby body. And so we're going to concentrate just on the big high points of the folds and, the flesh that's moving all around and all over the place. There's a big spot on his belly and, just all the folds. And of course, I'm trying to keep my angle kind of a top-down angle. So it's not really seen here in the camera, but I'm keeping like spraying at a 45-degree angle from the uppermost point downwards so that I can maintain those deep shadows and those recesses and such. Eidolon Purple is next, and this is from Forge World. This is a clear color. This is a really fantastic color. This is going to be used for all the big open sores on the body and where the tentacles are emerging. Now, basically what I'm going to go for here with Rotigus is a little bit different than what he is depicted on the box art, whereas I'm not going with a whole lot of greens. I'm going more with really kind of fresh flesh tones and more wrought in that regard. And so that's why we're going to slowly build this guy up. This is just on the basic bulk of the flesh, but we're going to be doing more and more with the flesh to really kind of build it up. But as you can see here, I'm concentrating on all the little big boil spots, all the things where, pustules are breaking through the skin and all the disgusting stuff, all the open sores and just everything all around where the tentacles are breaking through and everything that looks like it should be an open sore. And this is just to help create that gradient and throw in that, those transitions in there. We're going back to Pink Flesh with Pale Skin. Both of these colors are from scale 75. We're going to mix these in a 1-to-1 mix ratio with a little bit of thinner as well. And again, this is just to help create more transition through the flesh, as I really want to slowly build up to a nice bright flesh tone. Really kind of a sickly pale kind of color, with slight hints obviously with the purple and the green. We're going to throw more green in there later on, but don't you worry. And again, you can see I'm concentrating most of those points on the high points, on the knees, the toes, front of the belly, tips of the fingertips, just in the face. Anywhere I can spray down at this particular angle so that I'm staying on the high points of the folds. Pale skin is next, all on its lonesome. Again, it's thinned out. And I'm going to slowly build up these little highlights just in the high points here. As you can see, again, we want to create more and more depth on this guy again, because he's just got so much great detail on him that, you know, it's really hard, you know, to, you know, try not to, you know, obscure any of this stuff. You really want to bring all this stuff forward. And again, you can see I'm concentrating most of my brush strokes here on really the high points, the knees, the thighs. I'm trying not to work too much color further down parts of the body, but as you can see there. And so for that is pretty much the bulk of the flesh. As you can see, we will be doing more to the flesh later on, but that is it. It's as easy as that. Do not be afraid to give it a try. Well, I hope you found that quick tip useful and informative. You can watch another quick tip today on MiniWarGaming.com's Vault. Just click on the link in the video description below to watch it right now. If you're not already a Vault member, you can sign up for a free 7-day trial. Be sure to sign up for the Silver membership, and that will give you instant access to over 1,000 painting tutorials already in our Vault. And again, thank you for watching, commenting, and subscribing, and happy wargaming.